Have you ever wished for someone to not just miss you, but intensely crave your presence? If your answer is yes, then get ready to uncover a powerful secret that can turn this into reality. No, it's not magic or cheap tricks, but a subtle blend of profound Stoic philosophy and proven psychological principles. In this video, I'll share with you 9 indispensable tips, psychological moves that will help you become a magnet attracting the attention and desire of the person you desire. And most importantly, at the 10-minute mark, I'll reveal the golden key that unlocks the success of all these secrets. So don't miss a single second, because just one of these tips could be the game changer for you. Forget about bombarding them with messages or excessive attention. Instead, allow yourself to become a rarity, a precious gem that others must strive to discover. And above all, always cherish your own worth. Because, my friend, nothing is more important in any relationship than the love and respect you have for yourself. If you find these videos helpful, don't hesitate to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any other valuable content. Now let's embark on this journey together to uncover these exciting secrets. Number 1. Mastering the art of absence. In a world that's constantly in motion, we often get caught up in the whirlwind of constant presence, trying to fill every void with interactions, words, and actions. However, sometimes it's absence that creates the most powerful allure, making others miss you and crave your presence more than ever. Imagine a beautiful piece of music. It's not just a continuous stream of notes, but also meaningful pauses that create contrast and highlight the climactic melodies. Similarly, in relationships, intentional absence can create a powerful effect, making others realize your value and desire your presence more. A psychological study from the University of Virginia has shown that people tend to appreciate relationships more when there are gaps between encounters. Even a brief absence can trigger feelings of longing and make people cherish their connections more. This is a demonstration of the scarcity effect, where something becomes more valuable simply because it's not always available. Imagine you're a delectable dessert. If it's served all the time, people will quickly get tired of it and no longer find it special. But if it only appears on special occasions, it becomes something to look forward to and savor. Similarly, being constantly available can make others take your presence for granted. In contrast, when you know how to create pauses, your presence becomes special and cherished. This doesn't mean you have to disappear completely from someone's life. Instead, seek a balance between presence and absence. You give others space and time to miss you, to realize that you're not something they can easily take for granted. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "True strength lies in silence. It speaks louder than 1,000 words." Sometimes you don't need to say or do anything. Silence alone can convey a powerful message. So learn to master the art of absence. Let others feel your absence so they can appreciate the moments when you're present even more. In love and life, it's often the meaningful pauses that create the most beautiful music, the most perfect paintings, and the deepest relationships. Number 2. Maintaining emotional independence. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a magnetic pull that attracts others? The secret doesn't lie in looks, status, or wealth, but in emotional independence, a quality that not only makes you more attractive but also brings you a more fulfilling and enjoyable life. In the game of love, a Stoic understands that victory doesn't come from controlling the other person or forcing them to reciprocate your feelings. Instead, true victory lies in mastering yourself, controlling your emotions and reactions in all situations. A Stoic doesn't let the fear of rejection or disappointment dictate their actions. They know that not every invitation is worth accepting, and not every rejection is a failure. They make choices based on clear-headedness and reason, not letting fleeting emotions take over. They understand that love is not a battle where someone has to win or lose. It's a journey of discovery, experience, and growth. Style and class don't come from trying to be someone you're not, but from accepting and loving yourself, living true to your own values and principles. A Stoic doesn't seek admiration from the outside, but seeks peace and contentment from within. They know that true happiness doesn't depend on having the love of a specific person, but comes from living a meaningful and fulfilling life. So step into the game of love with the mindset of a Stoic. Be yourself, be confident, sincere, and respectful of the other person. Let your absence be a reminder of your value, and your presence a cherished gift. So by doing so, you will not only conquer the hearts of others, but also conquer yourself. So one of the pillars of emotional independence is Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to focus on what we can control and not worry about things beyond our reach. For example, you can't control whether someone misses you or not, but you can control how you live your life, the activities you enjoy, and how you take care of yourself. Remember, emotional independence is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when you feel vulnerable or needy, and that's perfectly okay. The important thing is to continue nurturing your inner garden every day with patience and love. As you develop emotional independence, you will radiate a natural confidence and charisma that others can't help but notice and admire. Number 3. Emotional control. In Stoic philosophy, love is not just a powerful emotion, but also an opportunity to practice self-discipline and rational thinking. Falling in love can bring immense happiness, but it can also lead to suffering if we fail to control ourselves. A reckless heart is easily swept away by fleeting emotions and becomes vulnerable to things beyond its control. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of maintaining a steady mind in all circumstances. He believed that calmness and patience are crucial to avoiding unnecessary suffering. In love, avoiding recklessness means not letting yourself be carried away by impulsive emotions. Instead, we need to view love objectively, understanding that everything can change and nothing is permanent. This does not mean we should be cold or indifferent. Rather, it means knowing how to control ourselves and not letting temporary feelings dictate our actions and decisions. For instance, imagine you are in love with someone who seems like everything to you. Whenever they don't immediately reply to your messages, you feel anxious, uneasy, and your mood begins to fluctuate. This is a sign of a reckless heart, one that is not strong enough to handle minor uncertainties. However, a person who practices Stoic philosophy would remind themselves that the other person's reactions are not something they can control. What they can control is how they respond to the situation. In such a case, Stoic philosophy teaches us to stay calm, take deep breaths, and recognize that our self-worth is not dependent on someone else's attention. We should focus on what we can control, like maintaining a clear mind and not allowing baseless worries to disturb our lives. Instead of getting caught in a cycle of insecurity, spend time developing yourself, pursuing personal interests, and keeping yourself engaged in meaningful activities. Another example might be discovering that the person you love has feelings for someone else. The first reaction of a reckless heart could be jealousy, anger, or even despair. But from a Stoic perspective, these emotions only harm ourselves. Instead of drowning in negative feelings, ask yourself, is this truly within my control? The answer is often no, because the emotions and choices of others are never something we can force or change. Rather than overreacting, a Stoic person would choose to accept reality while maintaining calmness and reason. They understand that all relationships can change and that true connection lies in the ability to adapt to these changes without allowing themselves to be crushed by them. The essence of love, according to Stoic philosophy, is not to avoid loving but to love with reason and control. A strong heart is not a cold heart, it is a heart that knows how to place reason above fleeting emotions. To love sincerely but not be swept away, to cherish relationships without clinging to them, this is how Stoic philosophy approaches love. Do not be reckless in love. Let reason guide you through its ups and downs, so that love becomes a source of positive motivation in life rather than a cause of suffering. Number 4. Finding freedom within. If you're seeking a way to make someone remember and long for you, remember that, as Stoic philosophy teaches, true freedom lies in mastering your inner self. Don't get caught up in the whirlwind of messages or the frequency of encounters. Instead, create a safe space where the other person can open up and be themselves without fear of judgment. As Seneca once said, people do not seek wealth or fame, but a peaceful refuge. Be that oasis in the desert of life where they can find true relaxation and peace. Don't let the past hold you back. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have no right to complain about the past, for it is gone, and you cannot change it." Everyone carries old stories, but don't let them overshadow the present. Learn to accept the past as part of life and focus on creating meaningful moments in the now. When you live fully in the present, you'll create lasting memories that will forever be etched in their mind. Freedom also means trusting yourself. Epictetus said, "What matters is not who you are, but who you think you are." Believe that you are good enough. You don't need to be perfect. Authenticity, like a cool breeze on a hot summer day, will attract and bring comfort to those around you. When you're comfortable being yourself, you encourage others to do the same. And in that space of genuineness and mutual acceptance, a deep and sincere connection will blossom, stronger than any forced bond. Number 5. Creating space for desire. Have you ever noticed that a dish tastes best when savored slowly, bite by bite, rather than devoured in one go? Love and desire operate in a similar fashion. It might surprise you, but sometimes less is more. Leaving a space in someone's heart, allowing them to miss you and long for you, is a subtle art. This doesn't mean disappearing completely, but rather giving them time to feel your absence, which in turn sparks feelings of longing and desire to be with you again. Imagine yourself as a beautiful piece of music. If someone listens to it on repeat endlessly, they'll inevitably grow tired of it, even find it irritating. The same applies to relationships. Constant contact can diminish the mystery and excitement, essential elements in maintaining interest and desire. The key lies in balance. Give the other person space to breathe. Don't always be readily available. If you're there every time they reach out, they'll take your presence for granted. Think of yourself as a captivating painting that people want to admire from different angles, not just glance at once and move on. Stoic philosophy teaches us to seek moderation in all things, and this applies to your relationships as well. It's not about playing games, but about maintaining an air of mystery and individuality. A study by psychologist Sandra Murray at the University at Buffalo highlights the importance of space in relationships. According to this research, couples who maintain a certain level of independence tend to experience higher levels of satisfaction and desire. A bit of distance allows each person time to reflect on their partner and appreciate their presence even more. Creating space isn't just about making someone miss you, it's also about giving yourself room to grow. When you have time for yourself, you can focus on your hobbies, passions, and personal goals. This not only makes you more interesting and attractive in the eyes of others, but also helps you build confidence and independence, qualities that are incredibly alluring. Remember, love is like a dance requiring a balance between closeness and distance. So when you master the art of absence, you create an irresistible allure, making the other person constantly think of you and long to be by your side. Number 6. Finding inner strength. In the midst of life's uncertainties, we often seek connection and happiness from those around us as if they were oases in a lonely desert. However, Stoic philosophy reminds us that clinging to these connections, placing our happiness entirely in the hands of others, can lead to suffering when they change or disappear, like trying to hold onto a passing rainstorm or a failed project. Instead of clinging, let's cherish the connections we have, but also seek peace and fulfillment from within. As Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." True happiness doesn't come from controlling what's beyond our grasp, but from mastering our own thoughts and actions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Let's cultivate our inner selves, nurture our wisdom, and find joy in the simple things. When we can stand firmly on our own 2 feet, like a captain steadfast amidst a storm, unmoved by the unexpected waves of life, we can enjoy connections freely and sincerely, no longer bound by fear or expectations. Remember, happiness is not a destination but a journey, and on that journey, accepting what's beyond our control, nurturing our inner selves, and focusing on what we can master are crucial steps in finding true peace and freedom. Just as a flourishing garden needs more than just rain, our happiness also needs to be nurtured from within, from acceptance and focus. When we achieve this, we become a garden full of life, naturally attracting beautiful and meaningful connections. Number 7. Don't place your happiness in someone else's hands. In life, we often seek happiness from those around us, from our relationships, from their recognition and love. We give them the power to dictate our joys and sorrows as if our happiness rests entirely in their palms. But the truth is, true happiness cannot be found in anyone else but ourselves. Placing your happiness in someone else's hands is like building a house on sand, fragile and easily collapsed by the waves of life. When we depend on others to feel happy, we give them the power to hurt and disappoint us. We become vulnerable to changes in relationships, their words, and their actions. Instead of seeking happiness externally, look for it within. Build a solid foundation for your own happiness based on self-love, personal growth, and genuine values. When we can create happiness for ourselves, we are no longer passive in the face of life's fluctuations and the relationships around us. Happiness, as Seneca once said, is not something we receive, but something we create. It's not a gift given by others, but a flame ignited from within. Don't seek happiness in the eyes of others, in their praise or external recognition. Don't let your joy depend on anyone's presence or actions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Build a strong inner garden where you cultivate your own values, passions, and goals. When you can find joy and contentment from within, you will no longer be swayed by the fluctuations of the external world. You will become the master of your own happiness, a happiness that cannot be taken away or dependent on anyone else. Number 8. Leaving toxic relationships behind. Imagine life is a long journey and you are the traveler carrying your own backpack. Along the way, you collect various things in your backpack: memories, experiences, relationships. Initially, the added weight seems insignificant, but over time, the backpack becomes heavy, hindering your steps. There comes a time when you must pause, carefully examine each item, and make the difficult decision what to keep and what to let go of in order to continue your journey with greater ease and happiness. Toxic relationships are like unnecessary burdens in the backpack of your life. We often try to hold on to them, believing we can change or improve them. But sometimes, no matter how hard we try, those relationships continue to weigh heavily on our souls, bringing more sorrow than joy. It could be an unhealthy friendship, a draining romantic relationship, or even a hurtful family tie. When you realize you're in a relationship that leaves you feeling depleted instead of empowered, causing more pain than happiness, it's a sign that it's time to reconsider your position. Letting go is not a failure. It's a courageous act of self-preservation and prioritizing your own well-being. It's like removing sharp stones from your backpack, allowing beautiful flowers to bloom in their place. Remember, you deserve love and respect. Don't let toxic relationships hold you back from living a fulfilling and happy life. Let go to create space for better things to come into your life, so you can continue your journey with a light heart and a peaceful soul. Number 9. Setting personal boundaries. It is not selfish, it's an expression of true self-control and self-love. Marcus Aurelius once said, "He who has clear boundaries can master his life." Imagine your boundaries as strong walls protecting a prosperous city. They don't prevent interaction, but create a safe space for growth and prosperity within. When you are aware of your values, beliefs, and limits, you will have the courage to say no to things that don't align with them, to refuse intrusive behaviors, and to protect your precious time and energy. Seneca advised, have the courage to live your life the way you want to, not the way others expect you to. Don't be afraid to face opposition or disappointment from others, because your inner peace and self-respect are what matters most. Setting boundaries is not just about protecting yourself, it's also a way to show respect to others. When you communicate clearly and honestly about what you expect and accept, you create a solid foundation for healthy and sustainable relationships. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." Remember, you have the power to control your reactions to situations, and setting boundaries is a way to demonstrate your self-control and wisdom. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to captivating someone who undervalues you isn't about manipulation or bending to their will. It's a journey of self-discovery and living a life guided by virtue. By focusing on what lies within your control, your thoughts, actions, and character, you cultivate an inner strength and tranquility that radiates an undeniable magnetism. You evolve into the best version of yourself, not for anyone else's approval, but for your own fulfillment. And paradoxically, this self-assuredness and independence can ignite a spark of desire in others, even those who once failed to recognize your worth. Remember, we cannot dictate the actions or feelings of others, but we can choose how we respond. By embracing Stoic principles, we break free from the chains of external validation and discover true contentment within. This inner strength and self-love become a beacon, often drawing those who once overlooked us towards the light we emanate. So release the need to make someone obsessed with you. Instead, prioritize your own growth and well-being. Live a life aligned with virtue, embrace your authentic self, and let your inner light shine brightly. By doing so, you may find that those who previously undervalued you begin to see you in a new light. But more importantly, you'll cultivate a profound sense of peace and happiness within yourself, independent of any external validation.